And so a lot of people talk to me about these other programs where you can do dual enrollment or you can earn college credit. And what I always tell you is none of them will set you up with the guidance and the advising and the efficiency that our program does, because they sell classes, but they don't map it out for you. And when you get to the very end, it's unfortunate, but students who have taken everything at a community college for dual enrollment and then they move out of state or they go to a different school that they didn't plan, they don't all transfer. And that might be surprising to you. It was surprising to me as well. They tell us in all of the homeschooling groups, right? Just do dual enrollment and your credits will be accepted at any other college, and it's not true. So what I want to talk to you about is that there's dual enrollment and there's dual credit. And so here at Smarter by One Degree, we do dual credit because once again, you're having to play by some other person's rules. If you do dual enrollment, you're doing them directly through the university. So you have to usually take an entrance exam, which for my daughter who has test anxiety off the charts, that was like a deal breaker. And I didn't want her to have to stress about that because we don't need to play by those rules with dual credit. Dual enrollment is where you're signed up at the university the entire time. So guess what? It's going to be the traditional college experience of busy work, homework, deadlines, and due dates. I'm not saying that we don't have kids that can do it. What my argument and what I want you to think about is, do they need to do it? That's a different frame of mind to think about it as, yes, we know that they can survive it. But what if they didn't have to survive high school? What if they could thrive in high school? That's what we're talking about today, is doing a different alternative path allows our kids to only get the good parts without all the negatives. I have so many students that come to us with dual enrollment where the kids are on anxiety medication, depression medication. They've pulled apart from their family unit because they're not as close, because they're so stressed out. They're not sleeping at night, all the things. And you probably know somebody where you've heard this story before. It's probably not brand new to you. But I would also argue, even if your student could do it, wouldn't you rather them be in sports, theater, interning, all the amazing things that they could be doing, exploring careers, and not doing the busy work, the homework, the deadlines, and the due dates? That's what it can make a big difference. And so with dual credit, we are not doing it directly through the university. And I'm going to talk about that more on the next few slides, but we never have to do the SATs and ACTs. And if you're worried and you're thinking, well, my student wants to go to graduate school, great. I have over 20 master's degrees and none of them require an entrance exam or the GRE. So you can go through high school, bachelor's degree, and graduate school and never take an entrance exam. So for all of our students that really stress about anxiety, or for us parents who think that there's a better use of our kids' time than preparing for that test, you have options. And so another thing that I found really surprising is that in all of the homeschooling groups, I'm sure you're in a lot of them like I have been the last 10 years, they all make it seem like all their kids are graduating with dual enrollment with an associate's degree. It's not true. The statistics says that the average student is earning 6 to 12 credits. Now, I'm not balking at that. I wish I would have had 6 or 12 credits done when I started college. So that's awesome if you have 6 or 12 credits. But what if we rethink it and we take 5 steps backwards and say, wait a second. So you're telling me that not everybody is earning 60 credits through dual enrollment? No, that's not what research shows. It's 6 to 12. And they're working really hard for those 6 to 12 credits. And then I will take it a step further. How many families do you know that did it? And maybe they were that 1 or whatever percent that got an associate's, but it probably wasn't a bachelor's degree, was it? So they're doing it the hard way. They're playing by this different rule book and they have an associate's, but they had to sacrifice so much to get that. Our kids have a bachelor's degree and they interned and they did all the amazing other things that we want them to do. That's what I'm talking about.